Leilani has a question about writing material based on real people and from articles and books about those real people. I'll give my answer in a moment. Stick around. Hi, I'm Gordon Firemark, and this is Asked and Answered, where I answer common entertainment law questions to help industry professionals like you achieve your dreams. Leilani's question deals with a script that tells a sort of miraculous story of young lovers caught up in a world of events who are separated and then find their way back to each other. She found an article in the newspaper about them, and the information is also in a book. Now, her agent is reluctant to submit the script until the rights questions are all cleared up. So she wonders if she needs to option the article from the person who wrote it in order to say that it's based on a true story, and does she have to option the book in order to get permission to use it? It's been more than 50 years, and the real people who are portrayed are deceased now. Does she have to get permission from their families, or is it all in the public domain? Well, Leilani, it's not really a question of public domain, because that's a copyright concept primarily. What you're talking about here is called the right of publicity, the right of a person to control commercial uses of his or her name or likeness or other indicia of persona. This right, the right of publicity, is not recognized everywhere. In states that do recognize the right at all, some recognize it only while the person is alive, while others recognize a post-mortem right of publicity. And in those states, it can last for as much as 50 or 70 years after the person's date of death. But telling a true story about a person in a movie probably wouldn't be considered a commercial use at all. The First Amendment's protections in this area are quite strong. It's quite a different thing from using a person's photo in a commercial or a magazine ad. So it's possible to do this without a signed release, but you do still have to be careful to make sure your telling of the events is true so you avoid claims of defamation. Most entertainment lawyers will still advise you to get a contract with the people or the families of the people depicted, even when you're telling the truth. You might want to take a little artistic license or embellish a bit for the sake of dramatic effect, and it's better to have something in writing. But even if you're being absolutely truthful and adhering scrupulously to the facts, this is usually less about buying rights and more about buying their cooperation. After all, you may want some help with story points and details, or you might need help with access to other people or places and so on. Also, by having a contract in place, you buy their promise not to sue. Let's face it, litigation is expensive. Even if you come out the winner, it's probably going to cost you in the tens of thousands of dollars to defend a lawsuit. Wouldn't it make sense to pay some portion of that to avoid the hassle and expense? Bottom line, you probably don't need to have a signed rights agreement. But a producer who wants your script will probably ask about it, and if you do have one, it makes his or her buying decision a little bit easier. Hey, do you like what you're seeing here? If so, please subscribe by clicking the button below. And if you'd like to ask a question, go to firemark.com/questions.